Hello and welcome to The Worst Movie Ever Made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind, to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Hockman, joined by my co-hosts and fellow mad scientists, Rob Scucci and Bob Hessick. Hey guys, how are you, and why are we doing this?
Shitty. Bob, you go. We watched this movie, and I'm slow to start.
Yeah, we watched something. I'm not sure if it was a movie, but that's what they called it. So yeah. So we're doing this because this is a bad movie, and there's not many worse, in my opinion.
I completely agree. I think this was a total shitstorm, and I'm still wiping some of the shit out of my eyes as we speak.
That's where I got. Okay.
I'm just going to jump right into some bad reviews because we're going to have a lot to talk about here, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
TV Guide Magazine, no author, 25 on Metacritic. Martial arts fans will find plenty of action to hold their interest here, but those in search of a plot and character are advised to look elsewhere. Jay Carr of Boston Globe says, Cyborg is CyBORING.
I think I'm Bill Madison.
Yeah, nice. Very, very nice play on the words there. And then I'm gonna read this one without you guys. Oh, he also gave it a 25. I'm gonna read this one, another 25, and then I'm gonna have you guys guess who wrote the review. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. See if you can get it. Movies like this work if they're able to maintain a high level of energy and invention, as the Mad Max movies do. They do not work when they lower their guard and let us see the reality, which is that several strangely garbed actors feel vaguely embarrassed while wearing bizarre costumes and reciting unspeakable lines. Who said that?
Richard Roper.
Who?
Gene Siskel.
Of course, it was Roger Ebert.
Yeah, I know. Oh, Roger Ebert.
The unspeakable lines bit. I was like, oh man, we're going back to Ebert for this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say unspeakable lines. I had a hell of a time with the worst dialogue because they literally weren't speaking any lines. So
no.
We'll see how I cobbled that together when we get to that test. But for now, I want to know if there are any interesting YouTube comments, Rob.
So I have a theory about this movie real quickly. I think they're trying to make their money back still because it's not, I couldn't pirate it. And I'm good at just getting a copy so we can have the same file to rip clips from and stuff.
Yeah.
Whether we're streaming it or not. And I went to YouTube to look up the actual movie. No comments. They weren't disabled. There just weren't any. I had to go to a fan-made trailer to find actual people commenting, and I have 5 comments that are pretty quick, and I'm going to go through them really quick. Just watched it. Very good stuff. I never saw the film before. Loved the last 40 minutes a lot. Intense. That was 1. Number 2, great quality. Smiley face. Number 3, I was 9 years old when this movie first came out. I didn't get a chance to see it until my older brother rented it on VHS when it first hit the stores. It was awesome to me back then. It's just terribly awesome now.
Wow.
Number 4, the greatest action film ever. No actor in history can replace Jean-Claude Van Damme's role of Gibson. There is no other man in history who was good enough to play Gibson. Actually, I have 6. Sorry. 5, the final fight is epic. Arg! And then number 6, and on this one, nothing is spelled right. Grew when they're making movies like this.
Yeah, right. I agree with that one. Of all the comments, that's the one I agree with most.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I got today.
Well, thank you for that. Just another example of the kind of what do you say, mental illness that exists on YouTube?
Yes, rife with mental illness.
Yeah,
there's no other explanation.
We're in search for a tagline. Maybe that's been it all along.
YouTube.
There it is.
Yep. Got him.
Let's jump right into test number 1, the worst of its kind.
Is this film the best of the worst or the worst of its kind?
So check this out. First one is another JCVD classic, one that we visited on the pod called Hard Target.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I saw it listed. Couldn't help myself with a 58. Still surprised every time I see that.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Wow.
The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. That's the 1990, I want to say it was. It did not do well. I have not seen it. I'm curious though.
Yeah.
A 24.
I have no desire.
Ouch.
No?
24.
Yeah, 24 is rough. I kind of want to see it. I don't know. Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher. Kind of cool. Probably really bad.
Yeah.
Marked for Death was Steven Seagal, our boy. We'll probably do this one on the bot at some point.
Yeah.
27 there. And then I'm deeming this one a must-watch. Conan. For me personally, I haven't seen it.
The first one?
Yeah, the Barbarian, not the Destroyer.
Huh.
A 67. Again, just shocked for a different reason. But that's a pretty darn good score.
If Max Weinberg isn't involved, I don't want Conan.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, the rating probably won't be as good.
Yeah.
And then finally, Bloodsport with JCVD, because I had a really hard time even pulling ones that were rated on Rotten Tomatoes compared to this one. And that was a 46. So when you average all that mess out, you come up with a 44.4. What do you guys think Cyborg came in with?
7.
I'll give it a 20.
Man, Bob is just about spot on. A 22.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
How?
I was being very generous.
Yeah. How does it achieve a 22? I have no idea. But the difference then is a negative 22.4. But it is the worst of its kind. So we will see how it stacks up against Battleship at the end of the pod. Moving on now to Rob's reading of our second test, The Bot Bitch.
The worst movie ever made presents the latest in cutting-edge artificial intelligence technology. The Bot Bitch.
Johnny is scheduled to have an abortion, but is too scared to go through with it. What he knows of mother's telling him he will regret because his mother always resented him and his father always spied on him. However, he also perceives a society that has plummeted into the abyss thanks in part to the invasion of video games, social media, and various drugs interfering with central nervous system. They are expecting a plague in 5 years, and Johnny was at school when the government order came to prepare. Chaos reigns and savage animals are now resting in their homes, something Johnny considers a plausible life adventure unlike this current reality, which is bleak and depressing. The protagonist, Jacob, runs down a gravel road and jerks his head to look on his right. There they meet a two-armed guardsman wearing a screeching red suits, both wielding knives, each of them swinging their knives left and right at each other as they scream and grunt, taking some hits. Jacob frantically looks around him. He is enclosed in a maze of boxes that seem to go on for miles. A small tunnel goes through the maze in front of him. Standing 200 feet away is a pale-faced human with piercing blue eyes and white face, standing in a torn shirt with shorts by its side and holding one of the knives as it has stuck in the ground with his feet slightly drawn back and hanging low on both sides like whips coils while he examines Jacob cautiously. Craning Jacob's neck upward, they could see an odd pole designating a chair up above. There appears to be pieces of human remains all around this crucifixion, most wet with blood. The young girl, Atlanta, is kidnapped. Can't remember the face of her attacker. Tattoos cover his skin while his eyes pierce through her. During her escape, a dagger sticks out of her back. Feet aching, she spotted a knife on the ground, so she grabs it and sees many other knives placed in a cross. She reaches out and takes one. In desperation, she slams it into the man's chest, killing him. Blinded by blood, she unknowingly falls into a well before anyone could help her. I would make that, and I'm giving that 3 stars.
Wow.
That is a 3-star read for sure.
Damn. So you would make it?
I'd make that. Yeah, just to see how that would play out. I totally would make that.
Bob, just for assurance, you would also make that.
I would, yeah. Especially because I know the budget.
What is it?
$500K.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it must have been fucking nothing.
That's not that bad. They probably spent most of it on that cyborg they didn't need.
Yeah, seriously. Like all of it. Honestly. All right, cool. Yeah, thank you for that read. That was riveting.
Sure.
For sure.
Got it.
Let's go on now to our next test, which is our third, and it's called the worst dialogue.
The worst movie ever made presents the worst dialogue ever made.
So I just want to say, I really do love the timing of the end of that bumper.
Yeah.
Just a little more credit your way.
Yeah.
You can use it as emotions. Yeah, when you feel yourself later.
Yeah.
Number 10, you see, we'll see if you guys notice what I did here. Number 10, worst line of dialogue is, there is no dialogue. So fuck them for that.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't come up with 10. So number 10 is the lack of dialogue is the worst dialogue.
Yeah.
Number 9, his former lover, who has 2 kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them I know is Haley because she comes back into play later in the movie.
Yeah.
And Jean-Claude is like petting the boy's head as he sleeps in his lap or something. Mm-hmm. And his former lover says, you're good with them. And then Gibson says, I liked him. And then the former lover says, they like you, Gibbs. Which one of the 2 times that we saw that same exact scene am I pulling from? I'll let you guess. But it is the same exact fucking flashback twice. So not only is it really, really boring writing, but they used it twice.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely pathetic. Yeah. All right. Some pirate guy who comes over with a dagger and he's threatening Gibson Reichenbacker or whatever his name is.
Gibson, 2 guitar brands. There's Gibson Rickenbacker, there's Fender, and there's a Pearl.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
They had a Guitar Center catalog to name these characters.
There's a Marshall also.
Oh, is there? Fuck, yeah, right. Yeah.
And something to do with Vox, VOX. I don't know if that's guitar-wise.
Yeah, it's Vox. That's guitar amp.
Well, there you go. But yeah, some pirate guy comes up to Gibson, and he's like, I kill slingers. Which I guess Gibson is a slinger, meaning he can get people out of the city.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is a slinger, guys?
I don't know.
Slinger is the original title of this movie.
Wow, really?
Really?
Yeah. No Slingers.
That would make more sense. That would make more sense, actually. So, of course, they didn't make the right decision.
No.
Right.
Not a single one. All right, let's do our first clip. It's a kind of a short one, but it's called Yeah. Kind of.
And it was like the tight close up of him, hit the profile of his face running by the screen. His hair just like blowing back.
His name was Brick too.
Brick, okay.
Yeah, he's just some like big mercenary that works for Fender.
All right,
nice.
Just so you know, there were 700 of those in the movie, so I thought I'd include one.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, number 6. Fender is talking to the cyborg, whose name is Pearl, and they're walking through the forest, which I guess is the wasteland. And he's like, what is waiting in Atlanta? And Pearl says, what I told you, the last of the old world. Fender says, what's waiting for me, cyborg? And then Pearl says, whatever you want, guns, weapons, the cure if they find it, life, death. Death? You think you can stop me there? No, we have a deal. You will fail. Of course I would. I know how strong you are. Don't look down on me. And then Pearl says, I don't. But that's it. That's number 6. I love how Fender just out of nowhere. Yeah, I feel like they took his script and then they ripped it into 7 or 8 pieces and then taped it back together without looking.
Like they slid the pieces around. They played rippy bits.
Yeah,
exactly what they did.
Yeah. Okay. Number 5. This is Maddie, the girl that offers him her bosom.
Yes.
Right.
Do you ever get used to it? What? The killing. I didn't make this world, says Gibson. Like, that's a normal response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't make this world. She asked, are you used to killing people yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you're in it, you don't realize it doesn't make sense. And then like when you hear it back, like the next day, he's like, no, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, well, we only have so much film. We're keeping it.
Yeah.
He's right.
This is Pearl at the very end, after Gibson Backen saves her and delivers her to the Atlanta scientists. The guy's like, welcome back, or whatever, and Pearl says, it's strange, but I feel like he's the real cure for this world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That made me vomit.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah,
I haven't cleaned up the puddle in my kitchen. It made me vomit.
Luke just walks by like, do. Wow.
Sorry, honey, you didn't have to watch Cyborg. All right, let's throw it to our next clip. This one, funny enough, is called Slinger.
That slinger can't help you now. I'll take you to Atlanta, and you'll give me the cure. And if you don't, I'll give you the horror show.
Wanted to throw in the guy on the castle wall in the ice benders or water benders.
Yeah.
Guy at the end there.
Right.
Yeah, I'll give you the horror show.
Yeah.
Well, you guys like that one, or pretty heavy duty, right?
I mean, it's just pretty badass, man. Like,
It's so badass.
he's like so muscly, and he's all like, oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the horror show. Pearl, this is number 2.
Okay.
She's talking to Gibson in the factory.
Yeah.
When Gibson's trying to convince her to come along with him. She explains that she doesn't want to, and here's why. She says, look, Fender must be destroyed. In Atlanta, we have the means. I'll lead him to his death. Nothing can stop him in this world. Not even you.
Right.
Was that an immediate turnaround? Do you as well? Like, I the only defense that I could possibly think of is she means this world, not in Atlanta, like the old world.
Yeah.
But it was immediately contradictory.
Yeah.
And immediately bothered the fuck out of me. And then it sets up the question, if you can kill him in Atlanta, why don't we just let him go to Atlanta? Why are we trying to stop him?
Yeah.
He's
why don't
delivering
you just
her.
go ahead?
Go ahead.
Why don't you just beat him to Atlanta, have the home team advantage, and then kill him there, or something?
Yeah. Well, she's saying that nothing in this world can stop Fender.
Yeah.
But she's also saying they have the means to stop Fender in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then Gibson is like, okay, I guess I'll go without you. Why continue? Because he wants revenge for himself.
Yeah.
I guess.
This is one of the biggest loopholes in the movie. And then it made me laugh every time they mentioned Atlanta. Like, why did they pick Atlanta?
I have no idea.
I have a reason for that. I think they're kind of alluding to the lost city of Atlantis.
Mm.
I thought, why didn't they use Atlantis
they're talking about Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia.
Fuck wants to go there.
I guess we'll talk about it later, but when they finally do get to Atlanta, holy shit, that was, oh my God.
Yeah.
Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Awesome, though. But yeah, well, I'll probably mention that again because we really need to flesh out the whole plan and what the fuck is happening with this plot because I still don't understand. But for now, why don't we throw it to a drum roll and then we'll we'll get into our last clip of worst dialogue and the worst line of dialogue.
Sorry, I preempted that. Here we go.
No.
Okay, cool. What's this one called, Chris?
It's Caught a Fish.
Okay.
You think we're gonna swim all the way to Atlanta? I can't! Asshole! I hate the water! Hey, I caught a nice fish here! Mates! We got us a skin job to take to Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Two things. Thing the first is, did either of you think that the water was going to come into play later? He very loudly said, like, water is like my weakness.
He goes,
no one used it.
Yes, totally thought it.
And then
I hate the water.
What happened to the accident when he's like, "Oh, I pip, we got a skin job." Like he just like, suddenly got like British.
It turned into fighting around the world there for a minute. South Park bingo card.
Yeah.
But then he says, "We've got ourselves a skin job."
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Like a ransom? I guess.
Yeah.
To take to Atlanta.
I think that's a reference to Blade Runner, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know what came first, to be honest. I guess Blade Runner came first.
Yeah, probably. This was 89, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for dialogue. That's all I got. I'm sorry, it wasn't more.
Yeah.
But there was no dialogue, so
I'm okay with that.
Cool. So we'll try test number 4. Yeah. Test number 4, the worst acting.
Test number 4. The worst acting. Naturally, we'd use the Catwoman theme for this one. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I apologize. I am a little bit sniffly. So if you hear that on the other end, I apologize for the annoyance.
You sound
it's
great.
These kids, man. It's these kids.
Yeah, and they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Months long. Fucking awesome.
It's been all year. Every 3 weeks all year we've been getting something.
Yeah.
All right. So we're doing worst acting now. And boy, there was plenty of it. But again, no dialogue means really hard to clip. But there were a few that we selected. Starting with Fender Earbender.
Can I say something real quick before this clip?
Sure.
You sent me the timestamps, and it was like worst acting, and it was 26 seconds in. I just wanted to point that out.
First, there was the collapse of civilization, anarchy, genocide, starvation. Then, when it seemed things couldn't get any worse, we got the plague, the living death, quickly closing its fist over the entire planet. And then we heard the rumors that the last scientists were working on a cure that would end the plague and restore the world. Restore it? Why? I like the death. I like the misery. I like
this world! Come on.
Oh.
That's how you're going to open the movie?
Yeah.
First of all, where is he when he's reciting these lines? Is he in a studio or is he in like an arena?
He's in a sound booth, just like cupping one ear.
Totally over the top, though. I mean,
yeah.
All right, next clip is called My Pa.
South Park bingo, by the way.
Yeah.
Say your final goodbyes to your daddy, and let's be on our way.
I'm losing money. Let's go.
Don't know if I really trust you. Don't know if there's really any difference between slingers and the pirates that killed my pa. But I guess I ain't got no choice. You're the only guy that answered the posting for the pay. Just get us out of the city.
It's what I do. Get people out of the city. Let's go.
Yeah. Just a complete struggle for both of them.
He does that a lot too, where he just repeats he's like, "Get us out." I will. What? Get us out. There's like 4 times he does that. Like similarly. Like
it's so that they didn't have to write a creative line of dialogue.
Yeah. But yeah, also the South Park bingo with the murdering Murdoch. Hey, you see that guy over there? He's the one that killed your Paul. When they go to the 1864 Pioneer Village.
Yeah. Oh my God, that episode's so great. But yeah, when she says my paw, it's kind of like a Southern accent out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because then she immediately goes, "Can you get us out of the city?" It's like, I guess because they're not in Atlanta. Where are they? I don't even know where they are.
New York.
They're in New York.
That's what
paw?
My pal.
Maybe it's like how in some of those Los Angeles movies they have those New York accents. Maybe in New York they have Atlanta accents.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It is a melting pot, I guess. That's fair.
He's just a Georgia peach.
Yeah.
All right.
Supple.
Go ahead, Rob.
I just said supple. A supple Georgia peach.
That's supple peach indeed.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't she like 12?
I don't know. I was just making banter.
Okay. Just people are gonna call us out. Who knows? Maybe we'll get an email.
Yeah, cool. The worst movie ever made.com.
Nice. All right, last clip of the day. This one's called Ah.
Okay.
There you go. I don't care what kind of a life or death situation you're in. Nobody's going, oh,
unless you're Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. It sounded like the end of like Bloodsport or Kickboxer or something. What was the JCVD movie we did where he's fighting? Didn't we do one?
There was no
Kickboxer.
We did Kickboxer.
There's Street Fighter and Hard Target. I don't think there's any fighting in Street Fighter though.
Yeah, Bob's right. We did Kickboxer, and at the end, he and what was the guy's name? Not Tong Po. Was it Tong Po? Maybe. Anyway, the two of them are going at it. And they're both like, maybe it's just a JCVD classic thing that he does.
Yeah. That's right.
Finally, for worst acting, number 4. This is not a clip. I just wrote down everyone is awful.
Yeah.
Every actor in this movie is terrible.
Everyone. Yeah.
Okay. Throwing it to Rob's ad read.
Today's episode of The Worst Movie Ever Made is brought to you by the state of Florida's Department of Transportation Toll Enforcement Division. What kind of fucking loser tracks down a family of 4 months after the fact? Seriously, fuck you, eat shit. I'm not even trying to be funny. We paid like 5 tolls. If we miss one by accident, I'll mail you $1 and call it even. I hope horrible things happen to your family. There we go. There we go. Live on the air.
That was amazing rage improv.
$27.
Wow. That's
For
like
tolls.
Apparently, we missed 2 tolls on the way down, 3 on the way up. No sign saying tolls or anything like that. But yeah, $27.
$27. It's a lot.
I got a ticket like that because it said that I went through a toll booth and didn't pay at 199 miles per hour. What actually had happened is I went past the basket and backed up. So I guess when you go backwards, they count it as extra fast.
Oh, yeah.
I
You're riding
know.
like a fucking night boat from Street Fighter.
I don't know. I'm still wondering if Bob actually did just go through it at 199. We can't rule it out. I mean, that's what they're saying. So, I mean, I want to trust you, Bob. But
Yeah.
Hey, just to jump to your worst acting to tie it all together.
yeah, please.
The actors were so bad. They were so incredibly bad that they actually recorded voices to voice over almost every part.
Yeah, no, that you could tell. It looked like a Saban, like Power Rangers or like VR Troopers type thing. Where
it really did. So I have this in the catch-all, and I'm looking for it now just so I can say exactly what I said then. Because I'm just going to end up reading it, so I kind of want to cross it off. But there's a particular spot where JCVD is saying, "I wish I could find."
Oh yeah, I remember he says one thing, but his mouth doesn't move at all. I think
It's I said major voiceover matchup issues. So I didn't write it exactly. I did in my notes, which I do have. So maybe I can find it if you guys want to just kill the dead air for a second while I take a look, because I do have exactly what he said.
The only official mention of voiceover that I read that was particularly noteworthy was the girl who you guys talked about, the girlfriend, I guess, at the beginning, the flashback girl.
Yeah.
She did have a very, very thick Southern accent in reality, and because no one can understand her, they voiced over her first, and I guess she was upset.
No kidding.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, please.
I was saying, speaking of like voiceovers and things done in post, Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins famously would like go back to the studio after everyone else left and redo everyone's parts aside from the drums. And and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, well my part sounded sick." And he's like, "Yeah, because I fucking did it." Like years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome, though.
Yeah.
All right, so
Douche move, but yeah, good stuff.
I have specifically what he said.
Okay.
I don't have what he actually said. What the voiceover said was, "I'm gone." It's a close-up on his face, and it doesn't match what he's saying. You couldn't actually tell what word he used, but it doesn't match the mouth opening and shutting.
Okay.
In any sense. So if you, the listener, haven't watched yet, please do. This movie is well worth it. I guess if you like our podcast, you really want to see the source material for our breakdown. But he says, "I'm gone," and halfway through he opens his mouth and closes it before he's done saying "gone." He just says like, "Yep," or something. I have no idea what, but you can't do that when it's a close up on the person's face.
Yeah.
No.
Like another spot was that the worst dialogue caught a fish at the end when they do the that Australian joke that he makes, like, "Oh, I like whatever." Like you could tell he's not saying it because he's too far away from the camera for it to be that clear, and like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's certain spots like that, too, that infuriated me. But we'll skip over that now when we get to it in the catch-all. But, yeah, that was really bothersome because there's a lot of spots where you can tell not what they're actually saying.
Yeah.
Why don't we, for now, before we get into that, throw it to test number 5, the worst production.
The worst movie ever made presents worst production.
This is like a little story time here because I got a good story behind this movie. So Canon Films, I don't know if you know the company Canon Films, but their opening is very reminiscent of these movies. I think I rewatched the trailer for Hard Target or one of those Van Damme movies, and it was Canon Films.
Yeah.
And so they were supposed to make Masters of the Universe 2, because I guess they made the first one, and a live action Spider-Man. This is back in the mid 80s before anyone dared do that.
Wow.
And they had $2 million put into it, but they went bankrupt. So their deal with Mattel and their deal with Marvel just went away. Mm-hmm. So they had a $2 million loss. To recoup that loss, they decided to make Cyborg.
Okay.
Keep in mind, they were bankrupt, right? So they already had $2 million of costumes and props and sets built for Masters of the Universe 2 and a little bit for Spider-Man. They were going to make them at the same time. So they decided they wrote Cyborg in one weekend. No surprise. They only had to spend $500,000 because all the other money was spent. And basically they used all the costumes, the sets, and the props from Masters of the Universe 2. That's what you're seeing when you watch this movie.
Okay.
Wow.
They had 2 failed movies at no cost to this production budget. So financially, it was actually a success because they did profit enough to make up for the loss, but they were not able to recover from bankruptcy. Canon Films folded immediately after. This is their last film.
What a way to cement your legacy.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay,
so this wasn't supposed to be a movie. This was made only to use props from an old movie. I forgot to put a name to this or a quick tap, but I guess you could say didn't we say forced production from something else?
Yeah, Battleship. They pushed through the doubt.
Yeah, they pushed through the doubt.
That's not what this is. This is
like something accounting. What would you blank accounting?
Cut your losses accounting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Accounting.
Yeah. Thrifty accounting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm writing Enron accounting.
I like it.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah. So we'll see how that stacks up later. We're going to do another test, and then we're going to do some fun shit.
Cool.
We're really going to break this down in the catch-all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are.
So test number 6, the most offensive.
Damn it! I am tired of being Santa Claus. You get your together and you get your ass in the damn car. We're going. Now, damn it. Okay.
All right.
Cool. So actually, I didn't have a whole lot to work with here. I will tell you now that I have a mini game for us later to play.
Okay.
To do with this, as we do every week now, because it's fun. I'm going to start with the kind of trope at this point, and if it makes me feel a little bit racist just saying it, we'll see how.
I'll bite.
They're walking like trying to beat the boat that's going to Atlanta on the dirt roads, and they come across a town, and I wrote Asian town, Asian-y music.
Yeah. Yeah.
That to me is always offensive. Like as soon as they're using woks in the town to cook up food, it's like ding dong yong dong yong dong.
A gong is struck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I hate that. It's to set. I know it's not just Asian. Like they do it. Like if you're Egyptian.
If you go to the South, you'll hear honky tonk music. It's like the same application.
Yeah, exactly. Just to set the mood, I guess. But it to me feels offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We kind of mentioned this, but I found this offensive. Refusing beach sex.
Yeah.
Dude.
I don't know. I'm torn.
Listen, I got a little something else written.
Sand. Okay,
let me just say this, dude. The world is over. Have some Smuckity Huckerson.
Smuckity Huckers.
just have it, okay?
Yeah.
You know, the world is over. Enjoy your last moments, possibly, and have sex with that woman. No strings attached.
You said Smuckity Huckers, right?
Smuckity Huckerson.
Huckerson. Okay, got it. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
No problem.
It's going.
That's just what dribbled out as I was writing.
It's going in the write-up.
But seriously, why not? Like, he's too damaged from the woman that he was banging before.
I think, but like also, here's what I find offensive. all the implied rape, you know, like the kind of domination over like you know, every gang has like a woman they're kind of just dragging along to like, you know, satisfy their impulses,
their needs.
And I think what they are trying to show there, and I'm giving him way too much credit, is he saw that she was like ready to surrender her body to him, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm better than these guys."
Like Waterworld.
Yeah, exactly. Like Kevin Costner. Yeah.
Well, that's
exactly. We don't know if Kevin Costner's piece was weird and had like gills and fins on it. Maybe he was embarrassed.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, so who knows? Okay, you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
This is not. This is a stretch to put it in most offensive, but like I said, there wasn't a whole lot there. Fender's repeated eye reveals. How many fucking times are you going to get the same effect when you pull off the sunglasses and we're like, wow, you have really blue eyes for a guy with like olive skin.
You've got cataracts. Whoa. Yeah.
It really bugs me though. I think he does it like 6 or 7 times. Would you say that's an exaggeration?
No, it's around that. It was more than a few, but less than 10. So like it's in the several range.
Right, but they never. It's not a precursor to anything. Like it's not like he takes his glasses off and he's gonna kill someone. He takes his glasses off when he's gonna. It's always just random.
Yeah, it's for like some kind of really pathetic shock value.
Yeah,
the first time he did it.
No, go ahead.
The first time he did it, I was like, "Whoa!" Didn't expect those eyes. Maybe those are contact lenses. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a fan theory I read that he was infected with the plague, and that's why his eyes are that color, and that's why he's so interested in finding the cure.
Oh.
Which that's a fan theory. That is not at all what they intended.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then he, like in the beginning, as we heard, he says, "Restore it." I like the death. I like the misery. Like he's not planning on using the anecdote or the cure for the plague, so to speak. So it just flies in the face of the plot, whatever plot they're in. Okay, and then for me, something that wasn't like in the movie, the characters were not aware of this, and I mentioned it before, but to me, this is extremely offensive. Using the same flashback footage over and over again. Yeah. Like if you're going to do that, like they did with Vantage Point, you have to give different angles, different camera shots, because it's slightly more interesting if we're watching the same thing happen from somebody else's point of view. To give them credit over this movie. Obviously, Vantage Point is a better movie than Cyborg. I'm realizing now. They literally, like I said before, same dialogue twice in the movie. You guys remember the scene where he and his former lover are like going at it in the bed, and then you see Fender and his goons like hanging over the window, like watching, and like you know that they're about to attack, but they're just enjoying like the free porn.
Yeah.
They show that exact same clip where one of the goons like moves the curtain with a pole that he's about to beat them with or something. Twice.
Yep.
At least, maybe 3 times. The exact same thing, which was an extension. And I was afraid, Bob, that this was going to be your worst production. So I'm glad it wasn't. But that the fact that they were trying so desperately to make this a feature length film
Yeah.
by using
Usually
literally the same footage twice, repeatedly.
You've seen it before when they use the same footage, but then extend it, like the memories coming back, or they're showing you a little more of the story. And when they kept cutting it, when the guy's at the window, I was laughing, but also very angry.
Yes, very feeling offended. Were you not?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they were telling the story of what happened to the children in his former love more effectively than that, because they were giving you additional footage.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
but so I actually was like a little bit jarred when I realized that Fender was making this girl use a pulley system of barbed wire to hold her family afloat over the well.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a nice little torturous scene that they crafted there. Not bad.
That was like the only. That was the most badass part of the whole movie.
Yeah, it seriously is. And so, and they did the right thing by building in more details, like you're saying, Bob. It still wasn't done the way a great director would do it, I don't think. But to use literally the same footage repeatedly is super offensive, and that's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
For Scump. So we're now going to go to the catch-all, where I have a hefty sum of things to say. And so I'm going to try to go through them quick, and you guys stop me when you need, and then of course add when you want in the catch-all.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Okay, guys. So much unneeded, unnecessary slow motion. Again, another tactic to extend the length of this film.
Mm-hmm.
It starts immediately. They have the scientist guy who's helping Pearl get through Atlanta. Why they only sent one scientist guy who doesn't know how to fight to be her protector?
Yeah,
I don't know. But as soon as they like bust through the door after Fender is screaming about how he likes anarchy or whatever, he gets his fucking ass kicked and killed. But he gets killed in slow motion. And I'm going to move to the next one, which is the side-by-side slow walking, slow motion gang. This is a trope that we've seen over and over again, where
when you introduce the people,
and it's almost like a flying V formation, you know, where Fender's right there, dead smack in the middle of the leader of the group, and then you see like who's more important to him by how they fan out to his left and right. Like if they are totally on the outskirts, it's like some chick who has like a knife for a hand, and like that's her ability. But like the guy right next to him is a super jack dude with like a mullet, because like you're afraid of him. You know what I mean? So it fans out according to like where you are on the spectrum of scariness. And my contention with that formation that they made is that they just like 6 members of this gang just whipped the shit out of the scientist guy and then ran back into the middle of the road a quarter mile away so that they can join the slow motion flying V that is now headed towards the scientist.
Yeah. That's a good point.
How ridiculous is that? Okay. Pearl, can Cyborg read that Gibson is trustworthy? Like you can see it, like, you know how in Terminator 2 you can see like his main frame, and it actually, like, if you read what it says, it's like you know, curvature blah 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 as he's driving, like it's all in red, but like curvature such and such degrees, speed blah blah blah, you know, rotation of tire, you know, whatever. Like it makes kind of sense. Like it's not super important. Hers was just a fuck ton of numbers, just like 717.76541289, you know, but like a sequence of those that was totally outrageous how long it was. And then she's like, I can trust you.
Yeah.
What kind of fucking cyborg math did she do by looking into his brain through his eyes?
Yeah.
That told her that. Any theories?
Nah, I think she saw that he used to have a mullet and then he doesn't have a mullet.
Oh yeah, dude, he had a front mullet. All of all the party was in the front, and the business was in the back.
Yeah, business in the back.
She looks completely different without her hair. Obviously, you knew we were going to talk about this. It's kind of a worst graphic deal. if they pulled the wig off so you can see what was happening mechanically back there, it was worse than Total Recall. But it kind of had a Total Recall vibe, Bob.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Where you can tell that there's some claymation going on or something like that. So like the face was obviously like you just can't match Arnold's face, especially when you punch it like they did in Total Recall. Like they made the clay model and then they just like right hooked it for some reason, and his face looks all weird. But same here, just looks very strange every time she takes off the wig. Yeah, looks like a completely different person. So that was a problem for me. Also, like you said, Rob, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to save it. I'm sorry. I just realized I got to save it. But speaking of the front mullet, I wrote, is there anything juicier than Jean-Claude Van Damme's long hair flashback scenes? Because that, for me, you know the Velveeta commercials where they're like liquid gold? That's liquid gold for me.
Yeah, that is weird. His weird, like, pit bull nipples. He's got weird fucking nipples, man.
Does he?
Yeah.
Right,
go back and look at them nips. Like,
okay, yeah, I want to go back and look at those nips. I'm not calling you out for looking at his nips. I didn't happen to notice.
I couldn't not notice them.
What are they like powdered toast, man? Like super? Are they like eye piercing? What are they?
They're like flesh-colored flattened raisinets. But, like oblong still.
Okay, I'm sorry I asked. That was I'm going to go back to my kitchen and add to that vomit.
Okay.
Okay. Knife sharpening. Does that mean anything to you guys?
No.
That was going to be my trailer.
Oh, really? All the times that they were fucking sharpening knives?
It was going to be lots of knife sharpening, and then I was going to pepper in some other knife sharpening clips from other things.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It
was going to be good.
I'm not trying to get political here, but have you ever seen the what one of these images is Donald Trump and which one is a ham?
Yes.
Yeah. So like that, like where we don't know if they're sharpening the knife in Cyborg or if it's from another movie.
It was going to be ridiculous. Like the Swedish chef was going to be, doing his thing.
That's awesome. All right. The right across from Maddie in the factory where she knocks a guy down like an old elevator shaft. It was obviously a dummy, and it was so funny to me.
Yeah.
That was so good. I laughed out loud at that one.
Yeah, that was so funny.
There wasn't even like a ragdoll effect. It was just like a like a 2x4,
like a pencil tie. Yeah. How are they moving faster than the boat? I don't care what kind of shortcuts you're taking. The boat is going to kick your ass in a marathon. For sure. I wrote plus she runs like a moron.
Yeah,
she runs like she has a very low IQ.
Yes.
Why does she have to be a cyborg, Rob? You said Rob texted me something to that effect. Like, she doesn't even have to be a cyborg. And I was like, I wrote that 38 seconds ago on my outline. Yeah. There's no reason. Rob, what did you say to me? Because I'm going to just let you have the credit here. What did you say?
It could have just been a guy or a girl who had like a note with some intel on it that they had to bring to Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no reason for like any cybernetics to be involved at all.
I think you nailed it when you said that was what they decided to spend the budget on, and I think that they wanted to have something Hollywood about the movie.
Yeah,
because otherwise, what are we watching but like a backyard passion project for some would-be director who never makes it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so why does she have? Okay, so we said it. Why does Fender garrison an old factory in the first place? And how do Maddie and Gibson know that they're there? They don't have binoculars or anything. They're just like going along and they see a factory. And they're like, oh, well, Fender must be held up in there. It's like, why would he? And, it's not like nightfall or anything. Yeah. Like, why would he just stop? Like, how do we know that he's there? I didn't understand that.
Yeah. It's
all of the placement and relationships between people being, not being, traveling, standing still, none of it connected.
I agree.
A horrible set of loopholes upon loopholes.
Yeah. It's a timeline butt fuck for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, lowering himself and Maddie, who by the way is unconscious, down the sewer just ain't happening.
No.
Because she's not holding on to him, so he has to hold on to her, which means he's only climbing down the ladder with his feet.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter how jacked you are. You're not climbing down a ladder with a body on you with just your feet.
If you're top heavy, you're gonna just your feet are gonna be a fulcrum, and you're just gonna swing off.
Judging by that scene that I mentioned before, where she was offering her bosom, I think they might have been a little top heavy.
Hey, going back to the worst movie, our worst movie tropes is the giant pipes. Speaking of sewer.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's true. They were running through giant pipes, and it led us to a nice JCVD patented split, because he has to do it in literally every movie. So where Brick, the guy that goes yeah as he's running after them, he's following JCVD close, and he's like, "Where the hell did he go?" Turns out JCVD, for some reason, decides he's going to do a split over top of him and then strike down with a knife, which we don't see him die because they didn't have the budget for wounds. So
yeah,
right.
It's the same thing in I think it was Double Dragon, where they were running from or toward like an adversary, and like they're running over like the roof of a car, and he has to front flip off of it. Not to kill anybody,
I remember
not
that.
to fight, just to do a front flip for front flip's sake. It made no sense.
It is again the like we're Hollywood, not like backyard wrestling.
Yeah.
Like we have somebody who can effectively do a front flip. We have a martial artist who can do a split in war torn apocalyptic jeans. Even still, as tight as those are, he can split anyway. But while we're on the subject of patented JCVD moves, the spinning slow motion roundhouse was featured a number of times here.
Yeah.
Several times.
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed. Not gonna lie, that's what martial arts movie fans come to see is him jumping up and then like spinning around. You're like, whoa, what's he doing? Because like I see his back now. Oh, here comes the foot, and you get to see it all in slow motion, so you can really understand what's happening from a martial arts standpoint. So,
Chris, do you have the other signature JCVD move in there?
What? No, what is it?
So think about Kickboxer and think about this movie. What's the similarity?
Oh,
kicking down the palm tree and kicking down the crucifix.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Like kicking down statuesque things and channeling his anger from past trauma to do so.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes, I didn't come up with that now, but I did come up with that. Yeah. We'll get there in a second.
That same fucking thing.
Wild West Jim West boot knife.
Yep.
Just right. I saw it and I was like, I know that Wild West comes out later and that they weren't calling back to this movie, but we've seen 2 movies with boot knives that come out the toes, which seems
that can't be practical.
No, and I feel like that thing just like all of a sudden you're armed in public because you didn't mean to let that thing fly out, but like you know you're getting a burrito and there's a cop in there and he's like, why does this guy have a fucking knife coming out of his shoe? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't seem like a practical weapon to me.
No.
Plus,
I didn't Google it, but I know I've seen this in more movies than just those 2.
I'm sure it appears in 10, 20 movies. But it doesn't seem practical to me because nobody kicks with their toes anyway. You'd break your toes if you kicked a guy in the face with your toes.
Right.
So it's just not unnatural to be kicking with a knife that way. Yeah,
you want to swipe. Not stab. If you want to keep your knife, you know.
I don't know. Unless you're a chimpanzee, you're probably not that. You don't have the ability to finesse your bottom feet like that. Your bottom feet. You have top feet, but you know what I mean. It's probably very hard to swipe accurately with your toes.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I'm gonna cover my toes in paint and go upstairs and see if I can make like a nice pattern on a canvas up there or something.
Do it.
So here we go. I'm getting right into what you were saying before. I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to leave you crucified, but without actually staking you.
Yeah.
They gave you the implication that he was staked to the cross. Did they not?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they showed the wounds later.
Yeah, but then later, he doesn't have them.
Yeah, all the blood clots on his chest like disappeared.
Right.
Yeah, so there were like arrows. I was guessing they were like bow and arrows that were that were right where his hands were as he was crucified. So you get the idea that he's been staked to the cross, which is extremely painful, and that they're starving him out or letting him die of blood loss, whatever comes first. But then later you see him wrapping up his hands, Bob. I think this is what you're talking about. Like he found gauze somewhere. And he's wrapping his hand.
He unwrapped his wrist, and they showed the hole in his wrist. They showed both sides of it.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they showed both. This is right after. I don't know. I forget it.
I don't give a shit.
All right. Well, last bit on the cross though. They show him kicking through the post, as you say, Rob.
Yeah.
Which is a test of leg strength that he can do that. But I thought it'd be really funny if we had a wide shot of him falling and like into the cross, and then like just like hoping to God that he doesn't fall like face fucking first onto the ground. All they show is like one of the corners of the crucifix landing in the sand, and then him gently like kind of tumbling backwards. But that's fortuitous, and still would have been funny to watch in wide angle. But they knew that, so they one, they're not actually going to even have a body double do that, because it's way too dangerous. But two, they knew it would be really funny.
Yeah.
It definitely would be really funny to watch. Okay, I've got a few more. Atlanta establishing shot, Bob. You were mentioning this before. The CGI, I think this is what you were saying. Absolutely awful.
Mm-hmm. It was just like a burned out like I don't know, it wasn't even a village. It was like one small area, like a clearing. Yeah. That was Atlanta. And I don't know if you noticed this. I was going to put this in most offensive, but in one of the many times they just have an Atlanta sign like fallen over.
Yeah.
They had a sign for Confederama.
Whoa.
It was
yeah. I remember. I do recall that.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty bold.
Guys, we were really tiptoeing here. We mentioned Donald Trump, abortion, the Confederacy, maybe.
Yeah.
This is getting.
I mean, if those things deserve a rightful place, it's definitely this movie.
Oh, I agree.
Bury it in the past.
Yeah. Make the jackrabbit slap the bear.
Yes, exactly.
So he shot one arrow at Fender's feet just to alert him to his presence. Shoot Fender in the face with that arrow.
In the eyeball. Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot him right through the glasses into that crystal blue eye he likes to show us so much.
Yeah. And he had one arrow. Do you see that? He just threw the bow away as soon as he did that.
But the next thing I wrote is, where did he get a bow and arrow?
It's like a Looney Tunes movie.
Yeah, it really is. Like he just like pulls out of his knapsack. What's the praise, Mary Poppins? Yep. Why can't the cyborg help them fight? It's life or death. 3 against 5 is better than 2 against 5. Just saying.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is she too fragile or something? She's made of metal more than Jean-Claude Van Damme is.
Yeah.
The he's not dead trope, and then it continues into round 2 of the fight that lasts like another 7 minutes.
That was hilarious.
Totally insane. That's what I've got. You guys want to add anything else?
No, I'm tired of thinking about this. Just he could have covered the manhole cover back up, and that would have bought them some more time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
he's strong.
all
That
that
would've
effort,
been
you couldn't slide that thing shut, and they turn the corner and they'd be like, "Where'd he go?" That manhole cover's perfectly untouched.
yeah, true. And that would have been another like feat of strength where he can show off by like just dragging it back with a few fingers or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of which, I loved how when every henchman came out of the manhole, they knew exactly what direction to run as soon as they hit daylight. Like,
Oh yeah, no problem.
no,
And
that's right.
It's kind of trivial, but each one of them was spaced out almost exactly as much as the last, from the entrance into the manhole to the exit out of the sewer. But they were all
Same
together
formation.
in the factory.
Yeah.
Just to buy Jean-Claude enough time to face each one of them individually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You guys want to throw out the fact or no fact?
Yeah, let's do it. My favorite bit.
So.
The worst movie ever made presents Fact or No Fact.
All right, I got too fact happy with this one. I went back to what I did for Airplane.
Okay.
I found so many funny things. I don't know about funny, but so many things about this movie that I decided to go 4 and 1, meaning there are 4 facts and 1 lie.
Good.
Okay.
So you're looking for the lie this time. So 4 of these are absolutely true.
Is there a
Not too crazy, but
clever title here?
well, the guy stole it. I had my title as CyBORING. So
Oh damn.
Okay.
Sorry, it was CyBORD. CyBORD.
CyBORD.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. Okay, so first thing that could be real or could be false. Chuck Norris was the star of the film until producers convinced the director to change their mind because Bloodsport was such a success. Okay. Second one. Van Damme permanently blinded one of his co-stars in one eye during a fight scene. All right.
Okay.
Third one. Van Damme re-edited the film to focus on the fighting and cut most of the drama. Okay. Fender, the lead villain Fender, became such close friends with Van Damme while shooting that Van Damme made sure he was cast in Lionheart, Double Impact, and Universal Soldier, his next 3 movies. And lastly, many scenes had to be cut or cut back to get an R rating and not receive what it originally got, which was an X rating. One of those things is false. 4 of those things are true.
Just as good. Once again, you've stumped us, Bob.
Okay. So Norris, permanently blinded co-star, more fighting.
Yeah, Chuck Norris was a star, blinded a co-star. Van Damme re-edited. Lead villain was close friends and X rating.
I'm gonna say the lie is the re-editing, because I mean, depending on what you mean by editing, because if he like dictated to somebody that they could do it, because I don't think he has the technical skill to actually edit himself, because he's from what I know, like a decent martial artist, which takes a lot of time and dedication, and B, a really bad actor, which takes time but not like a lot of dedication. So I think that's the lie, because
well, to be fair and to be most editors don't do all the legwork. They just kind of manage the editing process.
So that's what I was getting at. But I don't think this is early in his career, and I don't think he has that kind of pull in a studio yet, even for a movie that's just a business move and not meant for art's sake. So I'm going to stick to my guns on that and say he recut the film so there was more fighting and less drama, because there wasn't a lot of fighting. I felt like it was more dramatic too. So I'm going to stick to 3. Final answer.
This is really difficult for me. Honestly, I feel like Chuck Norris was super popular as Walker, Texas Ranger, and that was really his peak, right?
Yeah.
As for movies, he actually has really, really, really awful movies. Like he never even was able to achieve the level of like a Steven Seagal peak movie, you know, from what I know. unless you guys feel differently. But I don't know of a Chuck Norris movie that has any real success or.
He was in all the missing in action movies in the 80s, early 80s.
And one of those.
It was a franchise. It was basically a post-Vietnam, where it was basically like Rambo: First Blood kind of thing. Like he was a vet who was also a mercenary or something like that. I never really watched any of them. I just know it was a franchise. Missing in action.
Okay.
There were like 3 or 4 of them.
Because I would love nothing more than to explore the Chuck Norris genre for the podcast. But every time that I see them, they're kind of small potatoes compared to like the JCVDs and Stegals and Schwarzeneggers and Stallones and like the big names. Like Norris didn't really get there, and for some reason, he is Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture to me.
Come on down.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something there, but anyway. Cyborg is a small potatoes kind of movie where Chuck Norris maybe was cast there. I don't know. That's tough. This is why I'm struggling, because JCVD could have very well blinded somebody. And Bob just pulls some stuff out of nowhere these weeks now. So like I feel like that's the one where I'm like, oh, that definitely happened, because where would Bob come up with that? But last week proved that Bob can come up with things that, like, what was it for Battleship? No, it was The Faculty, where it was the tattooed chick happened to be like the director's sister or something. And like, how the hell am I supposed to know that?
Yeah.
Anyway, Van Damme re-editing is totally believable to me. I think he did have pull, because I think this is a couple of years after Bloodsport, which looks like his big movie. Is that right? Was Bloodsport 87?
Correct.
Okay. Fender, close friend, totally believable. I remember Lionheart not all that well. What were the other movies, Bob?
Double Impact and Universal Soldier.
Is Double Impact the one with Rodman?
No, that's Double something else. Double Impact's the one where he plays both parts. Van Damme plays both parts.
So he's in a double something else with Dennis Rodman as his co-star.
Exactly. Yes, he is.
Okay.
Double Dukes.
Yeah. But I have seen Lionheart for sure, and I don't specifically remember him, but he does face a lot of foes that are like lesser known actors, so it's totally possible that he's one of them. And then lastly, they had to like downgrade to an R rating. Is that right?
Yeah. It was X.
Yeah. Shit. Okay. Rob, what did you go with? Remind me.
I went with 3. I think the lie is that he edited.
I think he very well could have. At least given the editor notes, and Bob would count that.
Yeah.
God almighty. All right. For the sake of choosing something now and not drawing this out anymore, I'm just doing slow-mo right now to try to add to the length of the
We're going to have to start adding music.
I'm going to say Norris was not cast as the original because of the same editing and sway that Van Damme probably had. I feel like they had him picked out for this.
Let's see if I can back into the lie on this one. So one of you mentioned how they didn't have a budget to show wounds or to show like injuries.
Yeah, I had said that.
They actually had a much gorier movie that garnered an X rating. There was lots and lots of gore that they had to cut to get it to an R rating.
Go
figure.
Right in the beginning, they have nude bodies that are crucified. Like in the city.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I felt like maybe it was an X-rated movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. It was because of violence. He did Brick, the large guy that was victim of the split stab.
Yeah.
He was permanently blinded in one of his eyes and sued successfully for almost $500,000.
Wow. Yeah.
And permanently blinded in one eye.
Yeah.
Van Damme actually edits a lot of his movies, including this one.
Okay.
And Chuck Norris was indeed the original star of this movie because he was still generally popular. It was before Walker, Texas Ranger came out. That was a 90s thing. So Fender is not no way near a close friend. I actually stole that fact. It's not stolen. It's a little bit reworded from the villain he played in Bloodsport. Apparently, became a good friend of his.
That's Bolo Young.
I just picked those movies. I actually skipped over the double Rodman one because I knew that was a silly guess.
I think the guy's name is Bolo Young. He's the dude that's built like a refrigerator.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's a fucking badass, that guy. And I see even now, like JCVD's Instagram like posts have Bolo Young in them kind of a lot. I think they are like best friends. So,
yeah,
but now Fender.
And the thing that we got out of that game was that you've seen Lionheart. Shame on you.
It's Kickboxer. It is The Quest. It is Bloodsport. It's the same fucking movie, only it takes place in backyard arenas and emptied pools and factories and stuff where rich people just pay like good fighters to fight each other. It's the same thing.
Okay. Well, always factories.
Yeah.
Well, the score remains 2-1, Rob. I've gotten 2 of these this season. You got 1. Yeah, Bob's kicking our ass. We really need to pick up our game here.
All right.
Why don't we do your alternate ending?
Sure.
Or you can do this, or you can do that, or you can do this, or you can do that, or you can do this, or you can do that. Just pick one.
This movie was fine as is, and I wouldn't change a thing. Next bit. It needs to exist the way it does. I wouldn't I try to watch these in one sitting, and if it's on Netflix, I'll watch it at 1.5x because I can read pretty fast. And it's like if I equate it to reading a book. If you could read 2 pages and the speed someone could read 1 page, you're still getting the same story, So, but this one, I was like, I got 20 minutes into it, and I was like, I gotta turn this off. I need a break. And then I was like, no, let's give it 5 more minutes. And then I just kept doing that until it was over. And I watched it. And I was like, this is fucking awful, but I'm glad I experienced it at least one point in my life. So
yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. I'm glad we did this together, guys. We traversed this landscape. Of course, I had seen it a couple times before.
Yeah, of course you did.
All right, let's do bad credit names.
All right. Where did it go? Oh, there we go. George Boner.
All right. This is one of our more ramp up editions of bad credit name. Tom Flouts.
Okay.
Mary Lowry Donner. It's spelled like Merry Christmas though.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Kobe Fair.
Okay.
Fisher Howe.
Okay.
Blaze Long. And I say it like that because it's spelled Loong. It's like an extra long.
Yeah.
There it is. William Finger.
Again.
Yeah, Willie Finger. He's back.
We get a lot of Willie Fing.
2 more. Laszlo Les Stump.
Okay.
I like Stump.
Yeah. Stump.
Stumpf. Stump.
I like it.
And then here's the winner. Greg.
Okay.
It's Greg, like Greg, but
yeah.
Pugh.
Greg Pug. I like it. I dig it.
All right, let's compare the movies and go home. Oh, no.
Sure.
We have a mini game after the comparison, during the comparison, whatever.
Hey, go ahead. Domino's is calling real quick, but I'll be right.
Yeah. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. Battleship and Cyborg,
J24.
the worst of its kind. That's the first test, right? Oh,
Yeah.
he's going to be talking to the Domino's guy back there? Let's keep it in. Let's keep it in. Ha Rob.
Keep it
yeah,
in.
Keep it in.
Okay.
Negative 23.8.
Yeah, like
And the worst for Battleship. And then negative 22.4 worse for Cyborg. I say it's a wash.
I think so. We'll call it a tie.
1.4% and difference, and they're both the worst. he's literally gathering pizza at the moment.
We watched the pizza come in the door. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. I post order for a certain time, and it was supposed to be after the show wrapped up, but they never rang the gate, so I had to address that.
Those jerks. Well, we went ahead so that you had to keep it in. Where you I'm gonna listen to that segment of the pod like 7 times to try to figure out like what kind of pizza you had or whatever you were talking about. But we decided that it's a wash on the worst of its kind because it's 23.8% and worst versus 22.4 and worse. It's a 1.4% difference.
That's margin of error. Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, agreed. The Bob pitch is a clear victory for Battleship in that they had a 1.25 star. Neither of the two of you would make it. You would both make Cyborg, and both said it was a 3.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's 1-0 Battleship going into dialogue, which I think obviously is Cyborg.
Yes.
Yeah.
As bad as the writing for Battleship was, there was no writing for Cyborg.
Battleship is corny. Cyborg was non-existent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Acting, I'm going Cyborg.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
No,
agree.
We have Pushing Through the Doubt for Battleship on production or Enron accounting.
That's tough because they're both like similar in many ways. Concept. I mean,
they're cousins.
No, but making a movie because you really believe people are gonna like it versus making it because you kind of have to survive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I give a little credit to each, but I'll have to go with
Enron
on this one.
Yeah, I'll go with Enron accounting on 2.
Just because it's just so laughable that they were in the predicament they were in.
Because they probably had like good props and they had to like spray paint them gray to make it like not look like the thing it was meant to look like.
All right. Well, I will. Obviously, we're going with Cyborg in this one, but I'm going to disagree because they had an opportunity to not do Battleship, and they did.
Yeah. Okay.
They had no fucking choice with Cyborg. They just had to. So I feel like. Anyway, let's do the minigame for most events.
Let's do it.
Okay, the Asian Art of War thing from Battleship. These two are laced very tightly. Like this is a shoe that's not the kind of shoe that you can just pop on with your fingers. Like you gotta unlace this shoe and then lace it up again.
Okay.
Asian Art of War thing, where he confuses Japan and China, or Asian-y music in an Asian town.
Oh,
I'm gonna go Art of War because that's just stupidity. But like when it comes to like we were saying with like settings and music, like if it were like the Deep South or something, you'd hear like honky tonk music at a bar, and it's like it's the same thing and not Asian. It's just like it happened to be Asian, and we're really immature, so we thought it was offensive.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'll side with you on that one.
Okay. So we're going Asian Art of War thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Same flashback footage in Cyborg repeatedly. That's super offensive to me. Or the scientist in Battleship saying, "Oh shit, are you a cyborg?" to the guy with no legs.
Battleship.
Yeah, Battleship.
I mean, how cool is it that Battleship had someone scream, "Are you a cyborg?"
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. Well, since we're at a tie, then Stonehopper Suicide Mission or the Beach Sex Turndown.
Mm.
Oh, I don't know.
On one, you're turning down some quality titties, and on one, you're gonna kill like 3,000 people. So I guess no. You know what? The beach sex, because like you're right, Chris. It's the end of the world.
Okay.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Like you should have just gone for it.
You got it.
It was didn't even need to make a move. She made the move. Like yeah.
Get your rod in that lady pod. I agree.
Yeah.
Bob?
Yeah, I'll go with him on that one.
Really? The casual death of 1,000 people by your command, or this guy didn't bang.
Based on the aging of that one girl, it's been years since that woman died in the well. Come on.
I agree.
And
like probably 10 years.
Based on these two movies, I don't care about a single person. So that also goes into my decision.
Okay, so Cyborg wins the most offensive test as well. All right. So here we come to the demerit section that actually, it turns out, doesn't matter. But we wrote the music for Battleship as an extra demerit. I think because Thunderstruck cost them so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't do anything for the movie.
No.
But I'd like to contend that the music in Cyborg was also terrible. The soundtrack was really bad.
It was like video game music B-side.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was.
It was like one instrument on the synthesizer.
Yeah. So I don't know what wins. You want to call that a wash as well? I mean, it's music for both, unless you guys have additional demerits.
I think Battleship's worse because fuck AC/DC. Like, fuck them.
Good. Okay. Bob, you agree?
Not really, but I don't really have a love for AC/DC, but it caught me off guard hearing his hatred for them.
I kind of hate them too, to be honest with you.
So there's an interview with Angus Young, and they said, like, and I'm quoting the numbers wrong because I don't care, but they said, like, you know, some critics say that all AC/DC did was write the same album 10 times in a row. And Angus Young said, oh, that's bullshit. We wrote the same album 13 times in a row, and laughed. So there's like they are the professor that has tenure at the university that's not letting like the younger, newer teachers get in and like get benefits because they don't want to retire. And it goes deeper than the music. I hate boomer rock. I fucking hate boomer rock. That's just where I'm
totally fair. Well, since I'm siding with you because I also hate that they found a formula that worked for some reason with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Where they really had to do less work than most bands out there to succeed. I will also give Battleship the demerit section, which means that even though Bob doesn't agree, we're giving a victory there to Battleship, making the score 2-4 in favor of Cyborg. No surprise. It's a horrible
It's
movie.
Bad.
Yeah.
So far, the worst movie of the season is Cyborg. Way to go, Cyborg. Well done. Really horrible. Next week, we will be doing the Phantom Menace.
Dude. I'm not happy with us or myself or George Lucas.
I also
on Disney
can't
Plus?
wait, but isn't it like a 2.5-hour movie?
It's on Disney Plus.
Is it really?
And you can't watch it at 1.5. So I'll find a way to speed this up, guys.
I think this is like a landmark occasion for the pod. This is one that everybody talks about. This is like one of the most widely known flops for what it should have been. Like, this is exactly what we do on the pod. We watch movies that were supposed to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
That were absolutely atrocious. I can't think of a better example. So I'm very pumped for next week.
Yeah, I've got feelings about this one. I'll get into them next week though, because
awesome.
We don't have an hour. So
well, Bob, anything you want to say before Rob cuts us off?
No, but I am going to do my best to get the trailer out for this early because we have a graduation party for our daughter this weekend.
Ooh, Congrats.
Nice. Cool.
All right. Well, all right, guys. theworstmovieevermade.com. All our stuff is there. And shoot us an email, why don't you? And next week we're gonna watch The Phantom Menace.